A new ordinance affects short-term rentals in Irving. It went into effect October 1st and requires that owners of short-term rentals register with the city each year. Shane Diller is Irving's code enforcement director, and he is here with us today. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's dive right into this. What are the reasons behind this new registration program?
You know, the primary goal of the program is so that we can obtain contact information for the operators of short-term rentals so that we can get in touch with them when an issue arises. If there's a code violation or a problem at the property, we know who to contact that can address it quickly. Obviously, we want to make sure that short-term rentals are operated in the same way any other home in a neighborhood is operated, and that they comply with all the code standards related to property maintenance, the number of people that can be in a home, parking regulations, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and in looking at this registration requirement, what type of concerns are you trying to address? What type of complaints were you receiving?
You know, neighbors are always concerned about too many people coming and staying in a short-term rental. That brings too many vehicles sometimes to a property or to a street. And we're looking to make sure that the occupancy number, the number of people that stay in a home, stays legal, and that parking regulations are followed both on the street and on the property itself, and just make sure that the home is operated in a peaceful manner. There's not disruptive activity or loud parties or that sort of thing.
And this registration requirement has been in effect for a couple of weeks now. What is the response? Are people getting the message that they need to register?
Yeah, they are. We were pleased to see that about a third of the operators registered well before the deadline. There's another a batch of them that are in the process right now, getting their registrations done with the deadline that has just passed. And then there will be a few we'll have to reach out to again and reinforce the need to register and provide them an opportunity to do that.
What about penalties? Are there penalties for owners who do not comply?
There are, yeah. Like everything in the code enforcement world, if we give you a notice that something is not correct, either you haven't registered or there's violations at the property, we'll give you an opportunity to correct those or to communicate with us to ask questions and get clarity. And if in fact you choose not to register or choose not to correct those issues, there are fines that can be imposed, up to $500 a day in severe cases. We can also revoke registration for properties that have registered but have repeated issues with code violations. And ultimately we could end up seeking civil legal action through a lawsuit or through the injunction process in district court.
And so what are some of the most common questions or misunderstandings that can come about with any new program that you might want to address?
Sure. The biggest one I always get is how do we register? Obviously, if you go to the city's website, there's links there to register. It's simple and can be done online. It's $200 a year. And then we also get questions about the hotel occupancy tax and whether or not short-term rentals have to pay that. And they do. That requirement has been in place for quite a while now. And that has not changed with this new registration requirement. So they do still have to pay the hotel occupancy tax on top of the registration that they would do with the city.
And we put that website on the screen where people can get more information. Code Enforcement Director Shane Diller, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.